What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and in this video I'm going to be going over some meters and some different tools that you could be using within the industry. These are probably my favorite ones, and I'm going to go over what they are, how they work, the importance of them, and why you should get them. And I'll probably be going over a price point as well. So the first two that we have are automotive, and then the last three we have are more focusing on flat glass. So I'm gonna go ahead and move some of these over here. We're gonna start with a tint meter. So this is a Laser Labs tint meter. If you open it up here, this is the Inspector 2. This tint meter runs about $250. And the reason why I like this one, they do have a like an accuracy test thing in here as well. It's like a piece of glass and it tells you the percentage, and then you can put it between the two pieces and then see if it's calibrated correctly. So it's never been off, so it's never been an issue for me. But basically you take this piece and you put both of them on and you let the meter calibrate, and once it hits 100, that means it's clear. So with this meter, it actually breaks off into two pieces, and it is held together by magnets. This is probably my favorite meter. There is another meter out there that basically has just a little slit in it, and then you can put it on the roll-up door on top of it, and then it kind of goes over and reads it that way. That's good for only roll-ups, but sometimes you need a meter like a back glass. A two-piece meter is perfect for like a back glass or a front windshield where you don't have access to an edge. And also this is also great, doubles up as a meter for flat glass. So like if you're doing commercial or residential, if they have existing tint already there and they want to add more window tint and they don't know what the shade is, this is a very great tool as well for that as well. So, and let's just take a little test here. So it's 100, kind of take it off here. We can put the test thing on. It says 57%, is that right? Yep, 57%. Let's put it right in the middle and let's see if it's right. 57%. So it looks like this tint meter is calibrated correctly. There is a suction cup on this side. That's for if you're doing it on flat glass, or maybe if you are doing it on a back window or a front windshield, you can actually put this piece on and it'll suction to the glass until you get the secondary piece on to sandwich it together. And they're held by magnets. A really great tool. Again, this retails for about $250. I'm not 100% sure if the price points have changed. I have had that for a few years. The only thing is you have to make sure to turn these off. If you forget to turn it off, it does not have an automatic turn off. So they will end up killing the battery, and then you have to unscrew these screws and take the whole unit apart to replace the batteries, and they have those little button batteries. So a great tool, definitely need it for you. Moving on is a BTU meter. BTU meter is basically it just what's the word I'm looking for? It measures energy. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this here, but I can go ahead and turn this on, and I don't know if my lights will meter. No, my lights won't meter. They're LEDs. So let me see if I can put it on top by a light here. Change the number. No. Okay. So a BTU meter is really great if you're doing a heat box demo, right? Some people might be able to feel it, but you'll actually be able to see this. So like if you set this BTU meter on, like, say, a stand, right, and it stays the exact same distance, and you have it turned on, you have a heat lamp here, what you can do is, as long as this doesn't move, that's now your control, right? Like say you can want to set it to 100 or something, right? And that's an easy number because then you can throw that into percentages, right? So move this until the number reads 100, right? And then on clear glass, and then you can go ahead and slide your different slides in, and you can meter and determine what the percentage is real quickly on how much energy that window film is reducing. So it's an indicator, because sometimes people will do the heat box demo and they'll feel it, but they don't want to feel like they're being sold. So they're like, it doesn't really feel like it's doing a lot difference. But if you throw up a BTU meter, you can see the numbers. You can't beat the math. You can't dispute the math, right? You know, how they feel is a relative term. But if you have the numbers here and you can show them the percentage and the numbers of how much heat is decreasing, it's indisputable. So that's always a good one. Also, too, it's a little bit harder. You have to take your judgment on it. But once window tint is put on glass, it's very difficult to determine what film it is. You can figure out the darkness with a tint meter in regards to the shade, but like, is it dyed? Is it ceramic? Like, who knows, right? So what you could do is you could take it outside and you could turn it on, and it could read the energy of the sun, and then just go right in front of it. If the number drops severely dramatically, like, it's most likely a ceramic film. If it doesn't drop that much at all, it could be a dyed, it could be a carbon. You know, if it doesn't drop that much at all, it's a great way to upsell. Like, hey, you have film on here, but it's clearly not doing a lot. Let me show you what my ceramics can do, or something of that nature. So a couple good things. I don't typically use this one very, very often, but it is a good tool to have in here. Again, I think the price range on this one's about $200, $250. They're not cheap, but you know, save up for them, and then that way when you have them, it's just extra and additional tools that you can use. That pretty much wraps it up for the automotive stuff. In regards to the flat glass stuff, one of my meters here is just a digital measuring tape, a laser measurer. This one is okay. I have another version. I think it's in another bag of mine. But sometimes you have these large windows, especially commercial buildings with these huge, you know, 108, 72, whatever. It's a lot easier to kind of get the meter, put it on the frame, and then click it and know you're at like 12 and a half, 12 feet, 5, whatever the distance is, right? And you can do it really, really quickly versus the measuring tape. When I go to a commercial or residential estimate for flat glass, I actually will bring both. I'll bring the measuring tape and I'll bring the digital laser measurer thing as well. And I kind of just go from there. You don't have to have the big ones. This one says 65 feet. I mean, I'm not doing a 65-foot run. So like the biggest I'll have, I think might be like the biggest I've had so far is like 108, 115 or something like that. So you don't need to get the biggest, baddest one. And then just make sure to calibrate it to, I think this one I have to hold it, and then I can change the unit to adjust it so it's into inches. You can write feet and inches, but I like to do it by inches. That it's always makes it a little bit easier for myself on that one. So that is a laser measurer, and you can get these at Home Depot. You can get these at Lowe's, and they'll run $20, $30, $50 if you want a really good one. The one I have, I love. The other one I have, I absolutely love. That one costs just a little bit more, has a little bit more functionality on it, but you can go super basic. This one is super basic. You know, you take a measure, you know, and then it holds the measure, and then it tells you it's 15 inches and 7/8. So it's pretty quick, it's pretty easy. There we go. There's another one at 28 and 5/8. So that pointing and clicking and holding is a lot faster than me trying to get out measuring tape and things of that nature. So a great tool. Next one here is a low E card coating detector. Again, this is for flat glass. Why is this so important? Well, if you guys are getting into architecture film, then knowing different types of glass, annealed glass, tempered glass, heat strengthened glass, single pane glass, all kinds of them, double pane glass, triple pane glass, laminated glass. There's all kinds of different glasses out there, and you need to know the information about the glass, right? Because you need to know the proper glass so that you know what type of film you can put on. One thing for this is a low E card. You basically put it on the glass and you hit the button. I think the battery's low on this one, actually. I have to change it. But it'll say clear glass, surface 1 or surface 2. So if this is a piece of glass, right, and we're looking at it sideways and I'm standing here, this is surface 1, and then on the other side is surface 2. All right, and then if we had double pane glass like this would be surface 1. I'm standing here, surface 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think I do it backwards, and I've been told I do it backwards, but like I stand from where I'm at, and the first piece of glass is surface 1 for me. I think some manufacturers talk as if surface 1 is outside, because that would make sense. Surface 1 outside, surface 2, surface 3, then surface 4. The last surface is on the inside of the house. So that kind of makes sense, but I learned it the other way, and so either which way you do it, basically with a low E card is you're trying to detect where the low E is on what surface. For example, if it happens to be on surface level 2, right here, right? I meter this side and it's on surface level 2. I can't put ceramic on this glass because with the low E on one side coupled with the ceramic on the other side, the absorption rate will typically get too high. It will get to the point where you'll have possible glass breakage or seal failure, things of that nature. So when you're using ceramic films and you're doing double pane glass, you want to be able to put it on surface 1, and you want to have the low E coating on surface 3. That way you can avoid it. I mean, you'll get a little bit of heat between the glasses, but at least you're not going to break the glass, and you're not going to do any seal failure or anything like that. So this is very, very important. If you don't know where the low E coating is and you put the wrong film on there, you file in the warranty, and let's just say you break the glass, and the manufacturer won't cover it because you didn't do your due diligence to determine which film is safe for that glass. So you'll end up paying for it. So this card, I don't know how much this card costs because a good friend of mine gave it to me, and he gave it to me before I was able to get this. So this is EDTM, glass and window test film, glass, window, and film test equipment. So this is both by the same company. So this is just a lower budget one. I don't know if I had to throw it out there, probably $100. I don't know. This one I don't know, but this is the entry level one. Now, again, going into what you want to do in regards to knowing the different types of glass, this here is probably the most expensive meter that I have. It is absolutely the most expensive meter I have, but it's going to guarantee me I'm going to know what kind of glass it is. This is the Glass Check Elite. So it's, as you can see, it's a massive meter, right? So what this machine will do is that you turn it on and you put it on the glass at commercial or residentials. You typically put it in the middle, and you either put it on the bottom or at the top of the glass, not in the center. And what this will do is it's going to measure everything about that glass. It'll tell you how many panes, it'll tell you if it's laminated, it'll tell you on what level, on what layer the low E coating is, and it'll even go as far as to tell you what type of low E coating is and things of that nature. For those of you guys that are into flat glass, sometimes, especially in Florida, that these new builds, they have the coefficient ratings are off the charts. They're amazing, right? So if you know that, and another company doesn't have the Glass Check Elite, and they don't know what type of low E coating on there, they might try to push for like a really high-end film, and it's really not going to do anything for them. You're able to come in there, say, hey, I know they're telling you this, my film is comparable with this, but you don't really need it. I'm showing here, I'm reading the glass, I'm showing that it has a low E coating, and the coefficient rating is already substantial. We can add more, slightly more to it, but you don't need the highest end film possible with the highest heat rejection or anything like that, because you already have awesome windows. So you have other companies that are bidding a job, and they just want the highest film possible because they want to make the most money, but that's not beneficial to the client, right? There's no sense in putting a high-end film if you're going to put in a mid-grade film that's much more cost-effective and is basically going to do the same thing. You're looking out for their best interest, you can close that gig. This Glass Check Elite, this runs for $1,600. It is a very steep price, but I promise you this, very, very few commercial and residential companies roll with the Glass Check Elite. Why? Even if it's a small job, I don't care if it's 3 windows, I'll put this on the glass, and I always get the customer asking, what is that? What are you doing? So, and I explain to them, this is gonna read the glass. It tells me how thick the glass is. It tells me how thick the space is between the glass, if it's laminated glass, and where the low E coating is on what surface, and the type of low E coating. This information, and I tell them, I'm like, yeah, this is like a $2,000 meter. Now, why do we do this? Because I need to determine what type of glass it is, so I can determine for certain that the film I'm going to put on your glass is going to be safe. Because if it's going to be safe and the glass still breaks, the manufacturer will cover it, no problem. What you don't want to do is not have something like this, right? And then you put the wrong film on, the manufacturer doesn't cover it, now you have $50,000 worth of broken glass. You're either gonna have to process that through your insurance company, or a misstep like that could take down a company, right? So while it is $1,700 after tax, things of that nature, is it a steep price? Absolutely. But is it worth it? 1000%. Because without this, you're kind of shooting in the dark, or you just don't sell ceramics. And sometimes ceramics are needed. With the interior reflectivity of mirror film, silver film, and dual reflective, you end up getting the interior reflectivity at night, and a little bit during the day, but nothing too crazy. But like, what happens if you have a sky view or a lake view or things of that nature, or they don't want to make it dark, but they want to protect their furniture and different things from fading. They want to see their view. You can get somewhat darker films, but still be able to not lose your view as much as you would with other films. So, but you can't sell ceramic if you don't know, and then you're just stuck with silver and dual reflective essentially. So definitely a beneficial tool. We always use it, and it's definitely a saver. So just to review, the Glass Check Elite solid meter runs about $1,600 after tax. You're right around 17. If you can go and get them at the trade shows, if you pick them up at the Tint Off this last year in Virginia Beach, if you bought them at the show, they were running for like 14, I think. So you do save a couple $100, maybe like 15% or something like that at the trade show. If you can't get that, definitely get this. That way you can have some determination in regards to what. So if you're going in and you're on the inside and this is surface level 1, you just want to make sure the surface level 2 doesn't have that ceramic coating on there, or that low E coating on there. And this will tell you that too. So that's option number 2. Again, probably about $100, 50 to $100. I could be wrong. I have no idea. I'm just shooting from the hip on that one. The laser checker, the laser distance. Why am I? Laser measurer. This is the worst thing. I can't think of the word. Digital no. Laser measurer. Let's just call it laser measurer. Okay. Again, 30 to 50 bucks. Great to expedite measurements, especially if you're when you're doing estimates for commercial and residential. The BTU meter, again, this is about $250. It's basically gonna measure the energy from the sun and or from the heat lamp or anything of that nature, and it's gonna help you measure that, and then you can use that as a tool to reference, how great ceramic is, or your carbon IR or anything of that nature. Last but not least, the Laser Labs film tester. It's going to basically test the shade of the film and see what shade it is. This one runs about $250. This is the one I would recommend versus the one that just kind of has a slit on it, and then you kind of put it on top of the roll up. Again, because you can measure back glasses, front glasses, and also commercial and residential with this meter. You can't do that with the one that you just kind of like slide on. So, but yeah, there are a bunch of other meters out there as well, newer ones, different ones. I try to check them all out and kind of see which one would work best for me and how it could benefit me and my business. But these are just an example of the things that are out there. If you're taking this seriously and you really want to make a living out of this, then you need to be able to use the tools at your disposal to make you look as professional as possible, so we can close more jobs, we can make more money, and we can just live better lives. So I hope you guys have if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to comment below. I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to check out other videos that we have available, and we will talk to you soon.